I never thought dying would feel like waking up in someone else's skin, literally. The scalpel slice was supposed to end my nightmare. But instead, it birthed a monster wearing my face. And the bastard who orchestrated it all? He's about to learn that revenge isn't just a dish best served cold. It's a full-course meal of shattered empires and buried sins. My name was Arabella Kane, a nobody from the Rust Belt edges of Detroit, clawing my way into Chicago's cutthroat finance world on borrowed time and forged resumes. But one rainy Tuesday in 2023, everything flipped when I discovered my fiancé,
Victor Hale,
wasn't just cheating. He'd framed me for embezzlement to cover his own Ponzi scheme. The feds dragged me out in cuffs during our engagement party, champagne flutes shattering like my dreams. "It's for us, baby," he'd whispered later, from the shadows of a visitation room. Sacrifice now. Luxury forever. Sacrifice. That word haunted me through the trial. The 20-year sentence in Supermax. The endless nights plotting his downfall from a 6x8 cell. But Victor? He ascended. Hale capital ballooned into a Wall Street behemoth, his face plastered on Forbes covers, shaking hands with senators, betting models in penthouses overlooking Lake Michigan. He married my former best friend, Lila, the one who'd testified against me with crocodile tears. They had the white picket life in the Gold Coast, kids in private schools, while I rotted. The betrayal cut deepest, not from the money, $3 million funneled through my accounts, but the lie, he'd convinced me I was complicit, gaslighting me into signing those dummy ledgers. "We're building an empire," he'd say, his breath hot on my neck. I believed him.
God.
I believed him.
Prison twisted me.
Solitary for agitating, they called it, me screaming truths no one wanted to hear. That's where I met Dr. Elias Crow, the disgraced neurosurgeon doing life for experimental black market ops. Old money from Boston Brahmins, Crow had pioneered neural transference, body swaps for the ultra-rich dodging death. Organ harvesting with a sci-fi twist, map one brain's patterns onto another's, wipe the host clean. He tested on inmates, volunteers or not. Immortality's just code. He'd rasp through the vent, his voice like gravel under tires. I laughed at first, delusional quack. But desperation breeds strange bedfellows. 6 months in, after a botched therapy session left me convulsing, Crow slipped me a deal, his tech, my body as the vessel. Target? Victor Hale. The swap happened on a stormy night in 2025, deep in the prison's sub-basement lab, shielded by bribed guards and Crow's jury-rigged EMP. No consent forms, just ether rags and humming machines that smelled like ozone and regret. I woke up gasping, staring at hands that weren't mine, manicured, veined with Rolex tan lines. Victor's hands. My old body, frail from years inside, slumped in the corner. Crow's new ride. "Go," he wheezed from my lips, eyes wild. "Make him pay. Then come back for me." But I didn't plan on coming back. This skin was mine now, laced with his memories, passwords, skeletons. The safe's combination hiding photos of his first kill, a rival trader suicided in 19, pushed from a balcony to seize assets. Victor wasn't just a thief. He was a murderer, and I'd taken the fall for the financial laundering that hid it. First move, vanish Arabella Hale, Victor's wife now. Widowed in a tragic car accident, I'd stage with Crow's contacts.
Easy.
A midnight drive off Lakeshore Drive. Brakes tampered just so. The splash was poetic, waves swallowing her screams. News called it heartbreak over infertility. Victor played the grieving widower on CNN, dabbing dry eyes. I watched from my king-sized bed, sipping bourbon from his decanter, feeling the ghost of his arrogance pulse in my veins. But this body betrayed me too, flashes of his urges, the thrill of boardroom conquests, the cold calculus of betrayal. I fought it, journaling in code, reminding myself, Arabella Kane, not Victor Hale. Revenge blueprint, dismantle from within.
Step 1.
Infiltrate his inner circle. Victor's memories were a roadmap, late-night trysts with board members, the yacht parties where deals drowned in Dom Perignon. I showed up to the next Hale Capel Gala as him. Flawless Tom Ford tux. Charisma dialed to 11. Darling, you look reborn, cooed Elena Voss, the SEC plant he'd been bribing. I leaned in, Victor's cologne masking my sweat, and whispered the access codes to his offshore Cayman accounts. For old time's sake, by dawn, $50 million siphoned to anonymous NGOs, victims' funds for Ponzi widows. Elena thought it was a gift. Victor would see it as a leak. But he was no fool. Paranoia was his perfume. That Monday, in the glass-walled corner office overlooking the Loop, I called in Marcus Reed, his enforcer, ex-Blackwater, with a jaw like granite. Something's off, I said, pitching my voice low. Victor's timbre. Double the security sweeps. Marcus nodded. Eyes narrowing, did he sense the glitch? The neural map wasn't perfect. Crow's tech left echoes, like radio static in my thoughts. Victor's love for jazz crept in unbidden, or his hatred for cilantro. Trivialities that almost broke character. Worse, his muscle memory, striding into meetings. I defaulted to his man-spread arrogance, alienating allies I'd meant to court. The first real crack came at home. Victor's, my sons, twins at 8, stared at me over Cheerios like I'd grown horns.
Daddy.
Why do you smell like Mom's perfume? Theo asked, spoon hovering. Panic iced my spine. I doused myself in Lila's Chanel to honor the widow, but kids notice everything. Rough night. Champ, I muttered, ruffling hair that felt foreign under my fingers. That evening, I tucked them in with stories Victor half remembered, pirates and buried treasure, my voice cracking on the morals. Betrayal's a two-way street.
Kid.
Sleep came fitful, haunted by Arabella's cell block echoes, dripping faucets, screams muffled by concrete. Deeper I dove. Victor's secrets unfurled like a rotten onion. The laptop click that started it all? Not just affairs, a hidden drive labeled contingencies. Files on me. Arabella Kane. Doctored emails framing my greed. Payoffs to the prosecutor. But buried deeper. The real bomb. Victor hadn't just framed me. He'd orchestrated my parents' crash in 15. A drunk driver swerve off I-94 to inherit their small auto parts firm, folding it into Hale Capital's laundering web. I'd been collateral, groomed as his patsy fiancé to absorb the heat. The realization hit during a solo flight to D.C. Turbulence mirroring my gut. I'd borne not just his crime, but my family's blood on my hands unknowingly. Rage boiled. Hot and American. The kind that fuels manifestos and midnight runs. Back in Chicago, I escalated. Controversial call. Seduce the enemy. Victor's mistress. Sophia Reyes. Rising star at rival firm Vanguard. Was his weakness. Fiery Latina with Wall Street whispers and a grudge against his sexism. I arranged a chance encounter at the aviary. Cocktails molecular and moods volatile. Victor. You dog, she purred, sliding into the booth. Her red dress a slash against the dim amber lights. I played the part, hand on her thigh, but twisted it, confessed our regrets. The affairs that killed Lila's spirit. Lies laced with truths, Victor's microaggressions. The boardroom slaps on the wrist for harassment suits. By night's end, she'd bitten. Insider tips on Hale's next merger. A $2 billion telecom grab rotten with insider trading. The leak hit like a gut punch to Victor's empire. SEC raids at dawn. Agents in windbreakers swarming the tower. Cuffing execs mid-coffee. I watched from the helipad. Chopper blades, whipping rain. As Victor's face, my old reflection, flashed on Bloomberg, stunned.
Cornered. But he fought dirty.
That afternoon, a burner phone buzzed in my pocket. Marcus.
Boss.
We got a problem. Your double's in play.
How?
Crow must have blabbed. Or a glitch in the swap alerted Victor's paranoia protocols, implants. Subdermal trackers he'd mandated for security. They were coming for me. Evasion turned frantic. I bolted to the safe house in Pilsen. A graffiti-tagged warehouse stinking of chorizo from Ticarius below. There, piecing Victor's memories, I uncovered the final layer. The murder wasn't suicide. Victor had pushed that rival, Harlan Voss, Elena's father, because Harlan knew about the body swaps. Crow wasn't just a prison hack. He was Victor's black ops surgeon, swapping execs for leverage, erasing whistleblowers. I'd been slotted as the next vessel, post-frame-up, to retire me quietly. The betrayal layered infinite. Victor planned to wear my skin, discard his aging shell, rule eternal. Night fell heavy, sodium lamps buzzing like angry hornets. Marcus's team breached at 2 a.m., boots echoing on concrete. I ambushed first, Victor's Krav Maga downloads kicking in, a chokehold dropping the point man. But numbers won, tasers bit, world blurring electric. Waking zip-tied in a van, hood overhead, Marcus's growl. Who the fuck are you? I spat blood, tasting copper and hubris. Your worst nightmare,
pal.
Arabella Kane. Laughter died as we rolled into the old meatpacking district, abandoned plants where Chicago's sins fermented. Victor waited in the slaughterhouse gloom, floodlights carving his face into gargoyle angles.
No.
My face, Arabella's, frail and furious. Post-swap with Crow botched or reversed. Twist, Crow double-crossed. Swapping Victor into my body mid-chaos, thinking to claim the prize. But Victor, ever the snake, had contingencies, a second surgeon, loyalist who'd partially unmapped the transfer. He stood there, in my old skin, straitjacket loose, eyes burning with recognition. Bunny, that you? His pet name slithered out.
Vile.
The confrontation? Pure theater. American Gothic. You kill my parents, I snarled from Victor's throat, straining against chains. He smirked, my lips twisting unnaturally. Collateral.
Love.
Like you were gonna be. Revelations poured. The Ponzi wasn't greed. It funded his immortality cult. Swaps for oligarchs evading justice. Harlan Voss died refusing to join. My frame-up? To test the tech on a disposable me. And Lila? She'd known. Complicit. Her testimony scripted. The hidden secret. Our engagement ring held a neural chip, priming my brain for overwrite. I'd been walking dead since the proposal. Climax brewed in that blood-scented air. Marcus handed me, a syringe. Crow's reversal serum. End it, he urged. Controversial pivot. I broke free, not with brute force, but words. Victor's memories flooded me, his fear of irrelevance. The boy from trailer parks who'd clawed up, only to rot inside. Join me, I offered. Voice honeyed venom. We swapped back. Rule together. Immortal hails. His eyes, my eyes, flickered. Greed won. He lunged for the needle. But I twisted, injecting air. Embolism hit fast. His gasp a death rattle in my timbre. But the twist reversed everything. As he crumpled, convulsing, a final whisper. It was you, Arabella. The crash. You drove. Lies? No, flash. Suppressed memory. Victor's implant hiding my hand. Desperate for his love. I'd spiked Dad's flask. Staged the swerve for insurance to fund our empire. He covered it. Framed me later to bury both sins. I'd borne his crime? No. We'd shared the devil's bargain. Mirrors shattered anew. Sirens wailed distant. I fled into the storm. Victor's body my prison now. Empire crumbling via timed leaks. Ending? No tidy bow. I vanished to the Badlands. South Dakota. Ghosts of Wounded Knee whispering redemption scam. Sons, raised by nannies with my anonymous trusts, scarred but safe. Crow rotted in my old cell. Swap undone by feds.
Me?
Arabella in Victor's shell. Plotting the next con. Justice? A myth for suckers. Revenge? It hollowed me. Left a shell debating. Monster or survivor.
You tell me.
Dawn broke over the Badlands like a hangover. All rusty reds and jagged regrets. I'd ditched the chopper in a gulch. Torched it with Victor's Zippo, ironic. The flame that lit his cigars now erasing my trail. South Dakota's nothing appealed. Endless scrub. Motels with neon flickering, vacancy, like bad omens. Locals nursing buds and grudges against the feds. I checked into the Prairie Rose under Jack Harlan. Nod to the dead rival, paying cash from Victor's emergency stash. A cool $500,000 in bearer bonds sewn into a duffel. Sleep evaded. Body thrumming with aftershocks. Victor's frame ached differently, broader shoulders. A paunch from steakhouse excess. Libido like a freight train derailing at odd hours. Mornings, I'd stare at the motel mirror, tracing jawlines that screamed boardroom bully, practicing smiles that didn't reach these borrowed eyes. Arabella's ghost lingered in the periphery, her laugh in jazz riffs on the radio. Her fury in the way I'd grip the wheel. Knuckles white. Was the swap complete? Or just a haunting? Crow had warned of echoes. Neural bleed where psyches smeared like wet ink. First order, sever ties. From a burner laptop in a Sioux Falls library, dusty stacks smelling of mildew and manifest destiny, I hacked Hail Capital servers. Victor's passwords danced in my fingertips, birthdays of mistresses, kids' essence. I funneled the remnants, $800 to whistleblower sites. Anonymous drops exposing the swaps. Hale's Frankenstein files, headlines screamed by noon. CNN looping grainy lab footage I'd leaked. Wall Street tanked. Senators scrambling. Victor's portrait yanked from billboards like a fallen dictator. But power vacuums suck in sharks. Elena Voss called that evening. Voice steel over static. Victor, if that's you, we need to talk. The board circling. Meet at the Palmer House. She demanded, historic haunt of Al Capone. Chandeliers dripping opulence. I arrived in his pinstripes, heart-hammering American anthems of paranoia. Elena waited in the Empire room, martini sweating, her pantsuit sharp as a switchblade. Mid-40s, sharp-cheeked wasp with eyes like appraisals. "You're not him," she said flat, after my too-awkward handshake. The limp, post-swap glitch, busted. But Elena wasn't foe. She was kin to the betrayed. Harlan's daughter. She'd infiltrated Hale, suspecting the worst. Dad's suicide? Bullshit. I know about Crow. Over oysters, Rockefeller, slimy, decadent, we traded truths. Her plan, testify. Bury the cult. Mine? Ride the wave. Claim Victor's assets before probate. Alliance formed in whispers. Controversial as hell. I'd impersonate till the funeral. Siphon to her victim's fund. For Harlan, she toasted. Glasses clinking like guillotines. Back on the road. Ghosts multiplied. Theo called collect from boarding school. Voice cracking puberty. Dad? The news. Is it true? Lies tumbled easy. Victor's paternal schmooze. Business. Son. Chin up. But hanging up. Sobs racked me. Maternal ache bleeding through. I'd never birthed them. Yet in this skin, they were mine to shield or shatter. Deeper dig. Victor's phone logs revealed nannies bribed to ignore bruises. Discipline, his word for control. Rage simmered. I'd end that cycle. But how without unraveling? Twist deepened in Rapid City. A dive bar off I-90 where truckers nursed cores and conspiracies. Over wings, buffalo hot as my temper, I overheard whispers. Hale's body snatchers. Real as Roswell. Local lore. But lace truth. Crow's early tests in Deadwood. Swapping miners for mine owners. A grizzled vet. Name of Rusty. Sidled up. Breath, whiskey sour. Saw you on TV. Mr.
Hale.
Or whoever. Paranoia spiked. I bolted. But he tailed an arrested F-150, forcing a ditch-side standoff under prairie stars. Rusty wasn't muscle. He was witness.
Ex-con.
Swapped out his body in 22 for snitching on Victor's laundering through tribal casinos. Now in a stranger's husk, younger, but scarred psyche, he ranted. They steal your soul. Leave the shell hollow. Proof? A tattoo under his sleeve. Neural scar like a barcode. He offered alliance, coordinates to Crow's off-grid lab in the Black Hills, where reversals brewed. Take it back. Or become him. I declined. Controversial gut call. Becoming Arabella again meant losing the power to avenge. Victor's empire was my Excalibur now. Drop it. And I was just a ghost in the wind. Nights blurred into fever dreams. The crash replayed. My hands on the wheel. Dad slurred, Bella. Slow down. Mom's scream cut short by crumple zones. Victor's implant had buried it. But proximity to his sins unearthed the rot. I'd done it for love, his promises of escape from Detroit's decay. A condo with a view instead of factory fumes. But love, poison ivy, choking the innocent. Waking drenched. I'd drive till dawn. AM radio preaching fire and brimstone. Fitting soundtrack for a soul swap sinner. Elena texted coordinates. Victor's, my private jet at O'Hare. Fueled for Zurich. The funeral loomed. Media circus in Graceland Cemetery. Irony. Elvis's ghost nodding at reinvention. I boarded under alias. Flight attendant's eyes lingering too long on the widower's grief mask. Turbulence over the Rockies mirrored inner storm, mid-flight. A jolt, echo flare. Arabella's voice in my head. Stop running. Face it. I slammed bourbon. Neat. Chasing silence. Zurich was crisp. Alpine air slicing like judgment. Hale's chalet overlooked the lake. A modernist fortress of glass and grudges. There. The board convened, suits from Goldman. Vultures in Hermes. I chaired. Voice booming Victor's bluster. Consolidate. By the dip. But under table. Foot tapped Morse. Doubt. Post-meeting. Sophia cornered me in the sauna. Steam veiling her intent. Victor.
Spill.
The swap, did it hurt? She guessed too. From pillow talk echoes. Seduction redux. I pulled her close. Bodies slick. Confessing fragments. It's hell. Soft. But necessary. Her nails dug, punishment or passion, as she whispered Vanguard's counterbid, poised to devour Hale. Betrayal's echo chamber amplified. Lila's death replayed in HD, her pleas in the car. Victor. The kids. Brakes failing as I, Arabella in his skin, watched waves claim her. Necessary? For freedom.
Yes.
But the boys' faces haunted. Twin accusations. Call came mid-coitus. Theo. Hysterical. Dad. The schools saying you're dead. Leak from Elena? Or Rusty's network. Paranoia peaked. I ghosted Sophia. Fled to a safe in the chalet. Gold bars. Passports. A locket with my Arabella's baby photo. Victor's trophy from the frame-up. Deeper secret clawed free. The Ponzi's seed money? My parents' payout. Yes. But twisted. Victor had impregnated Lila Primi. Forced abortion to focus on us. She'd testified to bury guilt. Not betrayal. Layers peeled endless. Each stickier than the last. Controversial decree. Mercy kill the truth. I'd shield the twins from our shared monstrosity. Let them inherit clean millions. Return flight dipped into storm cells. Lightning forking like neural paths. Grounded in Chicago. Feds waited. Elena's testimony flipped. Immunity for full disclosure. Mr. Hale, the agent drawled, badge glinting. Or should I say Kane?
Bust.
But in holding, Rusty slipped in. Disguised janitor. Lab's yours. Finish it. Choice loomed. Reverse. Testify as Arabella. Fade to obscurity? Or double down? Victor, eternal. Burn it all? Holding cell in the Dirksen Federal Building reeked of bleach and broken men. Fluorescent buzz drilling my skull. 24 hours cuffed to reality. Victor's Rolex ticking accusations. Elena's betrayal stung surgical, her alliance a sting op. Harlan's justice her holy grail. But Rusty's drop through the bars, a crumpled map to Black Hills, lit the fuse. Escape? Audacious. American as a jailbreak ballad. Bribe the guard with Victor's memorized slush fund pin. He palmed the key. Eyes averted. Muttering screw Hale. Out into the loop's chaos. Horn symphony and hot dog vendors hawking under the L tracks. I melted into the crowd. Collar up against November chill. Hailing a cab to Midway. No jets now, southwest to Rapid City. Economy squeeze fitting my fall. Plane droned west. Over amber waves of grain turning to Badlands buttes. Heart-pounding Dylan, like a rolling stone. Rusty's directions led to a ghost town off 385. Abandoned gold mine where Crow once prospected souls. The lab hunkered in a ventilated shaft. Solar panels glinting deceptive green. Breach was child's play. Victor's hacks overriding the keypad. Alarms silenced like guilty consciences. Inside. Sterile hum. MRI coils. Vials of serum glowing ethereal blue. Crow? No, his husk. My old body. Withered on a gurney. Monitors flatlining. Suicide note pinned. The map's yours. And the cycle. He'd reversed partial. Trapping himself in limbo. Mercy or madness. Echo screamed now. Arabella's terror in the swap. Victor's glee at my sacrifice. A serum vial in hand. I hesitated. Reversal meant Arabella reborn. Victor's sins mine to prosecute. But power's drug core strong. Empires to topple. Twins to claim. Controversial infusion. Half dose. Hybrid psyche. Needlebit deltoid. Fire racing veins. World dissolving to code. Woke convulsing. Hybrid eyes mine. Jaw his. Memories a melee. Victor's cunning sharpened my blade. Arabella's empathy tempered the thrust. First strike. The board. From a burner in Deadwood saloons. Whiskey neat. Card sharp. I orchestrated the coup. Emails spoofed as Victor. Resign or rot. Attachments? Swap footage. Harlan's push from the balcony in grainy glory. By midnight, resignations flooded. Hail Capital, a headless horseman. Sophia? I called. Voice layer duel. Run with it.
Love.
Vanguard swallows whole. Her laugh. Bitter chic. Knew it was you.
Freak.
But thanks for Dad. Alliance dissolved to mutual destruction. She'd expose. I'd evade. Twins next, boarding school in Andover, Massachusetts. Ivy cloister amid Yankee privilege. Road trip east. Amtrak sleeper car rocking like a cradle. Dreams splicing. Lila splash. Parents wreck. My hands forever stained. Arrival, wrought iron gates. Leaves crunching crimson. I posed as Uncle Jack, duffel of bonds their inheritance. Theo and Miles. Gangly now. Eyed me wary. You look like Dad.
But.
Sad. Hugs crushed. Their small frames against this hulking shell. He's gone.
Boys.
But I'm here. Lies for love. Controversial cradle. I'd fund their escape. Trust to Canada. New names. Nannies fleeing the scandal. Be better than us, I whispered. Throat Arabella tight. But Victor's echo rebelled. Boardroom ghosts urged. Reclaim the throne. Detour to Boston, Crow's old estate. Now foreclosed. Echoing with Brahmin busts. There. In the library oak-paneled like a coffin. I unearthed the cult's Bible, ledgers of swaps. Oligarchs in stolen skins. Senators, CEOs. Even a Veep, immortality's price, the poor, the disposable. Me chief among them. Rage crested, I torched it, flames dancing like forbidden jig. Feds closed in Rapid City Airport. Rusty's tip or Elena's net. Chase through Black Hills, twisting roads. Ponderosis blurring. My rental SUV fishtailing on pine needles. Gunfire pinged. Marcus. Undead loyalist. Truck roaring pursuit. Cliffside pullout. Showdown under thunderheads. Boss, he bellowed. Shotgun racked. Whatever you are.
End it.
I faced him. Hybrid calm. I'm the reckoning. Words first, Victor's charm. Join me. Marcus. New life. Clean slate. He wavered. Barrel dipping. Then Arabella's truth. You beat the boys. For him. Shot wild. His, mine precise, leg wound. Non-lethal mercy. He crumpled. Radioing surrender. Tell em it's hail. Signing off. Empire's fall accelerated. Zurich Chalet raided. Gold seized. Vanguard's bid crushed hail stock to pennies. Sophia on 60 Minutes. Poised. Frankenstein on Wall Street. Public frenzy. Conspiracy pods booming. Coup-level rants on swaps stealing elections.
Me?
Vanished to New Orleans. Big Easy's bayous hiding sins in gumbo steam and jazz whales. Canal Street walk-ups. Above voodoo shops peddling gree-gree for the damned. There, in a shotgun house smelling of chicory and regret, I rebuilt small, consulting gig under alias, advising whistleblowers on laundering's reverse. But the bleed worsened. Mornings, I'd wake as Victor, barking orders at shadows, afternoons, Arabella's tears over lost years. Therapy? A French quarter shrink, beads in her braids, prescribing beignet and confession. 2 souls. 1 cage, she mused, tarot flipping death upright. Controversial ritual. Microswaps via black market apps. Crow's code pirated online, trading traits with volunteers. A barista's optimism for Victor's greed, a poet's grace for his bluster. Hybrid stabilized. But cost. Identities fractured. Volunteers ghosts in machines. Twins wrote. Postmarks Vancouver. Hockey sticks and French lessons. Love you. Uncle Jack. Miss Dad. Gut punch. I'd save them from blood. But orphan their father. Lila's shade visited in fever. Monster. She'd hiss from the deep. Parents too. Why? Bella? The crash truth anchored me. Mutual guilt. But mind the wheel. Penance? Anonymous donations to crash victim funds. Detroit rebuilds. Scholarships for Rust Belt girls like young me. Elena's final play, subpoena for Victor Hale, trial in D.C.'s federal court. Marble halls echoing Watergate ghosts. I watched remote. NOLA TV flickering blue. Her testimony. He swapped to evade. But karma's the real surgeon. Verdict? A cult dismantled. Swaps banned. Billionaires in cuffs. But twist's shadow. Rusty's call. Voice gravel. Your next vessel. Hybrid. They want you for the Veep. Oligarch remnant. Hungry for my duality. Cunning plus conscience. Perfect puppet. Choice crystallized in a Bourbon Street storm. Rain lashing like judgment. Reversal full? Fade as Arabella. Testify. Prison redux? Or embrace hybrid? Fight from shadows? Controversial crown. I chose war. Serum vial shattered under boot. No more swaps. Victor's empire ashes. But mine rising. Network of swap survivors. Rusty's army. Elena's intel. We'd expose the immortal class. One stolen soul at a time. New Orleans simmered. A cauldron of sin and salvation, where Mardi Gras masks hid the swap scars. My shotgun house became war room, walls papered in ledgers, laptops humming like cicadas, coffee black as Bayou Midnight. Rusty's network trickled in, ex-cons in mismatched skins, Wall Street dropouts with barcode tattoos, a nurse from Houston who'd swapped for a chemo patient's vigor, only to inherit their rage. We called it the Revenant Collective, cheesy, sure, but American, underdogs unionizing against the 1%'s God complex.
First up, the Veep.
Victor's memories pegged him, Senator Harlan's old rival. Now in a Veep's mansion. Body of a drowned lobbyist from 21. Controversial infill. I posed as Victor's ghost, seance-style gala in D.C.'s Dumbarton Oaks. Gardenia's heavy. Donors in black tie. Spirits walk, I intoned. Voice hyper haunt. Palming his neural key, a smartwatch pulsing sync. Midnight hack. Reversal serum force-fed via spiked champagne flute. He spasmed mid-toast, collapsing in azaleas. Original soul resurfacing gasping. The water. I drowned. Chaos erupted, Secret Service scrambling. Headlines screaming beep seizure. Voodoo or vodka? Fallout? Impeachment whispers. Investigations cracking the cult's marble facade. Elena led the charge. Her book deal, swapped secrets, topping Times lists. Proceeds to victims. We synced, her public scalpel. My shadow knives. But hybrid toll mounted. Victor's ambition clawed, knights plotting hostile takeovers of pharma firms peddling Crow's code. Arabella's doubt whispered. Enough blood. Therapy sessions devolved to arguments. Shrink suggesting exorcism light. Journaling dual entries. One per psyche. Twins' visits sealed the fracture. Summer 26. They flew in, teens now. Lanky with Lila's eyes. Hockey scars and French accents. Uncle Jack, Miles grinned. Bear hugging till ribs creaked. We toured the quarter. Beignet dust on beards. Jazz funerals parading brass grief. Over crawfish boil, spicy as secrets Theo probed. The news. Dad's clones. Half-truths spilled. He hurt people.
Boys.
But loved you fierce. Their silence heavy. Then absolution. We get it. Families fuck up. American right. Forgiving the unforgivable over a defee. But Victor's echo sabotaged. Post-dinner. Drunk on Sazeracs. I defaulted. Barked orders for them to toughen up, his drill sergeant DNA leaking. They recoiled. Theo's fist clenching. You're not him. But close. Door slam echoed like a swap gone wrong. Alone. I shattered, mirror punch. Knuckles splitting. Blood Arabella red. Call to Rusty. Full reverse. Now. He sourced it, Crow's final batch. Smuggled from a Yucatan lab. Ritual in the bayou. Piero gliding under cypress knees. Fireflies Morse coding regrets. Rusty Road. His stolen youth belying haunted eyes. Serum glowed in palm. Needles kiss cold. This erases him. I asked. Or you. Injection burned biblical. Visions cascading. The laptop click revealing Victor's face. Wait. No. Mine in the affair photo. Complicit grin. Truth's final reverse. I'd known the frame up. Signed willingly for the cut. Gaslit myself into victimhood. Sacrifice? Mutual con. Lovers in crime till love soured. Collapse in the mud. Hybrid unraveling. Victor screamed silent. Fight it. But Arabella surged, claiming sinew. Woke at dawn. Body mine, slight frame. Scars from Supermax. Hands delicate, but steady. Rusty's nod. Welcome back. Kane. But echoes lingered, his laugh in my throat. Ambition's itch. No clean slate. We carry the dead. Epilogue brewed slow. Collective thrived, swaps reversed nationwide. Lawsuits bankrupting immortals. Elena's wedding. Me as auntie. Twins as ushers. Vows under Chicago oaks. To fractured souls, she toasted. I smiled. Whole but haunted. Ending? No triumph march. Justices a debate club. Did I avenge? Or become the monster? Twins thrive, doctors now. Healing what we broke.
Me?
Detroit return. Auto parts firm reborn green. Mentoring girls with rust in their veins. Nights. Jazz on vinyl. Bourbon sip by sip. Wondering swap back. Or forward. Reader. You judge. In America's dark mirror. Who's the villain wearing your face? The laptop click that started it? Still echoes one face. Infinite lies. Loves the cruelest swap.